Hey you. Yeah, you. Do you want to get so lean that it looks like your body's covered in dick skin? Well, keep watching to learn how I got to 7% body fat. Alright fellas, what's up? This video is going to be about how I got to 7% body fat, or what I think is 7% body fat, by looking at other pictures online and doing some calculators online and shit like that. I'll be going over how I did it, I'll be going over the pros and cons of being super lean, and I'll be going over why you should never effing do this. So the main reason I got so lean was because I was going to do a bodybuilding competition in 2020, but like 2 weeks before it was supposed to happen, they called me and said that it's canceled. So I basically killed myself for 3 months, getting extremely lean, not doing anything with friends, like literally killing myself for 3 months, to have them call and say, oh yeah, we're actually not going to do it because of this cold that's going around. And I was like, you have to be kidding me, man. For 3 months, I dedicated myself to this. Like, I measured all my food, I tracked all my calories, I ate like 300 grams of protein a day just because I was so low in calories. But this is where I got a lot of my knowledge and experience from that I'm sharing with you guys. So you don't have to make these same mistakes. You can just do the easy way. You can just take the easy route. The first thing I did was cut out basically all of the fat in my diet. I was only getting like a couple grams of fat in a day. Now, do not do this. This is fucking stupid. Do not do it. You need to eat fat in your diet. A lot of people think, oh, well, if I'm eating fat, if I want to lose fat, I gotta cut the fat out of my diet. Wrong. You do not need to cut all the fat out of your diet. Yes, fat is dense, it has a lot of calories, but you need to eat fat. Your body needs fat. And when we go over the pros and cons, I think this is the reason that I had so many cons, is because I cut almost all the fat out of my diet. I was literally eating, at the most, maybe 10 grams of fat a day. So do not do that. You can continue to eat fat. Don't do that. But that's what I did. That's a mistake I made. You guys don't have to make it. Number 2. I did 30 minutes of cardio every day. It'd be a little bit different, like what I would do. Most days, I would just walk on the treadmill with the treadmill all the way inclined and at like a speed of 3.5. That worked really good. It burned quite a bit of calories, and I think I actually built some calf muscle because my calves became like a little bit more defined. So that was like a kind of like a win-win. I started out doing my cardio after I lifted, but as the time went on and I got like more and more in a calorie deficit and I felt like I had less energy, I actually started doing it before my lifting session, but then I'd be burnt out from my lifting session. So when you're doing this, any way you put it, it's hard, man. It is hard work. It takes a lot of dedication and a lot of discipline to do this. But I started off doing my cardio on the treadmill before lifting, but then like as the time went on, I put it after, just because like I would be so dead after lifting and the last thing I want to do would be to hop on a fucking treadmill. Now mind you, I did this every day. I did not take a single rest day, and that was probably a mistake I made too, because when you're in a calorie deficit, your body, you're just putting more strain on your body, so you got to give it more time to heal. I was getting alright sleep, like maybe 6-7 hours a night, so it wasn't too bad. Sometimes 5, so that wasn't, it was alright, okay? But if you're going to get this lean, I highly recommend to take rest days, because your body is going to need the time to recover just because you're not giving it as many calories. Number 3, this is the most important thing. This is the only way to lose weight. I'm sure you've heard me talk about it in my other videos. It's being in a calorie deficit. I was in right around a 500 calorie deficit a day for 3 months, bro. That is so hard to do. That shit sucks. But that is how you lose weight, alright? I was burning more calories than I was taking in. So I was losing weight. Another thing I did that helped me, so I guess like number 4, yeah. I think that's number 4, right? Yeah, number 4, I weighed myself every morning. So right when I would wake up, I'd go take a piss, go take a shit if I needed to, but I would weigh myself every morning after peeing, after pooping, before taking a shower, because if you do it after you take a shower, then you got the water on your body and shit, so it's not as accurate. But I would weigh myself every morning on like an empty stomach, right when you wake up, after you piss, after you shit. When you're weighing yourself every morning and you're really tracking it, you're going to notice the scale kind of go up some days and down some days. That's just normal. Your weight fluctuates day to day. It can be like anywhere from 3 to 5 pounds, even more. So if there's a day that you see that your weights went up, don't get discouraged, because it's just normal. That's how I did it. That is not how I recommend you do it. Watch my other videos to find out how to actually lose weight, but don't do it like I did, because I was stupid and young and I was inexperienced. But you don't have to make those same mistakes, because I'd made them. But you do have to be in a calorie deficit, so that is one thing you do have to do. Okay, now we're gonna go over the pros and cons, and I actually made like a table here, if you can see it. You can't see it, the reflection's too bad, but... So, there's not many pros, guys, though, let me warn you. Pros, you will get super lean, so you look cool, you look shredded, you see a lot of veins, you see new like cuts and lines and striations and shit, so that's cool. And the second and last pro is that you feel like a badass in the gym or on the beach or something if it's warm out, because like you know that you're diced, you know you're fucking shredded, so you know other people are looking at you, especially girls. Like, bro, when I was this lean, I felt like a badass because like I knew I was shredded, I knew I was leaner than everybody there, so I was like, bro, these girls gotta be looking at me like, probably not, but whatever. Now, let's move on to the cons. So con number 1 is you have no energy. This might not be a surprise to some of you, but when you're taking in less calories, you have less energy. The only way I could really describe it, man, was like, think about you just being exhausted all the time, like you haven't slept and you haven't ate all the time. That's what it was pretty much like for 3 months. It was the worst. It was awful, bro. Don't do it. Con number 2, and this might be a deciding factor for a lot of you to do it or not, because this is pretty important to a lot of people, so... Number 2 is you have no sex drive whatsoever. At this point in my life, I did have a girlfriend, and a lot of times she would get pretty horny, but like, I wasn't feeling it, man. I don't know how to explain it. Like, she would want to, you know, get a little freaky or do whatever, but I kid you not, I would rather have like a cheeseburger than to have sex or do something. It was insane. It was insane. Try to imagine your hunger feeling and like your craving for like a good food surpass your sex drive and wanting to have sex. That's what it was like, bro. It was like 3 months of me not wanting to do shit. I was just so exhausted. I didn't even want to have sex. I just wanted to eat, man. I wanted to eat good food. That's it. Number 3, you are always tired. I mean, this is pretty straightforward, but it's like you never got enough sleep. You could sleep 12 hours and you'd wake up fucking tired. Just because you're just so exhausted. Your body's so exhausted. Number 4, you are sad and you are depressed. When I started doing this, man, I was like 16, 7... Turn 10 too high. I'm not sure if you can hear me or not because it's kind of windy out here, but I was sitting in this machine, which I'll show you in a second. My camera got too hot, so the fucker shut off on me. So I had to come outside where it's negative 10 degrees out here and cool off. But if you guys want to know what I film in pretty much every day, I will show you here. This is what I film in every day. This cab right here on my lunch break, I usually set up the tripod and I film these videos for you guys. It's cold out here, man. I'm going back inside. Fuck this. This one's pretty straightforward too. I would literally walk around school, sit in class. I was like 16 or 17 at this time, so I was in high school, like a junior, I think, or sophomore. And I would just walk around, sit in class. Everybody would think I was so depressed just because like there'd be no emotion on my face. I'd just be sitting there just zero emotion, man. You feel just it comes all down to being exhausted. You just don't have the energy to show emotion. So you just sit there with a blank stare on your face and everybody thinks, dude, is this guy okay? Number 5, I developed a binge eating disorder after this for like 6 months. So it was pretty serious for a while. After you do this, you look at food completely different, bro. It's the strangest thing. Like, after I got done with this and I realized that my competition was canceled, I was like, alright, so I can just eat what I want now. And for like 6 months, I kid you not, it might be longer, but definitely 6 months, I would eat to the point where my stomach would be physically full and I could feel like the food pushing against my stomach. I couldn't even like sit and breathe normal because I was so full. But I would continue to eat. There was something in my brain that was telling me to keep eating and keep eating and keep eating. I don't know what this was, so if anybody knows what this was, that would be cool to find out. But if any of you go through a binge eating disorder out there, I really sympathize with you guys, because that shit is hard, man. That shit is so hard. After a while, I finally got over it, but for like a good 6 months, I was screwed up, dude. Every meal, I would just eat to a point of being so full that I couldn't sit normally. I would have to like sit up straight. I couldn't crunch over because my stomach would be so full. So this is one of the big things that this is the main reason I don't recommend you doing this. It makes you look at food so different, man. so different. So be aware of that. That could happen. Number 6 is I literally felt like death every day. I mean, that's just like a combination of all the other cons. This is how I felt. I felt like death. So if you want to feel like death, get super lean. Last con that I can think of and remember is I lost a shit ton of strength. Before I went into this cut, I was benching like 225 for a couple reps. After and during this cut, I could only bench like 185 for 3. So I lost a shit ton of strength. So be aware of that. To wrap all this up, guys, I highly recommend you do not try and get this lean. Number 1, it's not healthy, and number 2, it's not worth it. Like, you see all these influencers online and on Instagram posting about how lean they are and shit. That is not real. That's not real life, man. They use all these filters and lighting and pumps and oil and shit. That's not real. And it's not healthy to look like that. You just, if you want to be like lean, then that's all right. But if you get to the point where you're trying to be bodybuilding competition lean and you're trying to sustain that, that is not sustainable. It is not healthy for your body to do that. So I really recommend you guys never try and get this lean. You never really hear the fitness influencers out there talk about the negative side of being extremely lean. So that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to shed some light on it. It is not worth it, man. I know you want to look super lean. You want to see those veins in your arms and your abs and your legs. I know you want to have dick skin all over your body, but it is not worth it, dude. Just please don't do it. Take my word for it. I've been there. It is not worth it. Do not do it. But anyway, man, if you like this video, smash the subscribe button, hit the like button, leave a comment, is there still a bell button? I don't fucking know, dude. Do something or not, I don't care. Peace out, boys. I love you.